Oh, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Washington, D.C. Good morning, and thank you. Greg, thank you for the kind introduction. As Greg said, I am Joni Ernst, and I have the great honor of serving Iowans in the United States Senate, and I'm very happy to be here today with all of you. It's wonderful to have so many county leaders from all over the country here in the same room. And I know there are a number of Iowans here. Where did they go? Yay, okay, there's my Iowans, great. And I wanted to give them a special shout out. We were able to visit a little bit today about a number of issues that are very important to all of you. Well, many of the folks here from Iowa know this, the rest of you may not. I did get my start in politics at the county level, and I first ran for county auditor in my home county of Montgomery in 2004. I held that position until 2011 when I was elected to the Iowa State Senate. And much of what I learned and experienced as a county official has informed my work in the United States Senate. And perhaps most importantly, working as a county auditor gave me a true appreciation for the importance of local control. So many of our state and federal programs are administered or implemented by or in partnership with local governments. Local government is truly where the rubber meets the road. And for this reason, when I'm looking at a policy issue here in Washington, my first thought is always, what do the folks on the ground have to say about this particular issue? And I rely on local officials across Iowa to give me the information and feedback I need to make informed decisions. I understand that not everyone can make it to Washington, D.C. to meet with me, so I've made it a point to visit all of Iowa's 99 counties every single year. And that's right, folks, 99 counties every single year. And I'm not the only one that does this. I'm following in the great footsteps of our senior Senator Chuck Grassley, who's done the 99 county tour every year for now going on over 38 years. Kudos to Senator Grassley. I know that President Trump also puts a premium on input from all of you, and I was glad to see him invite every county commissioner and supervisor in the country to the White House over his first 2 years in office. And if you're familiar with some of my work in the Senate, you'll know that one of my top priorities is to cut bureaucratic red tape and get rid of regulations that don't make sense. Yeah, thank you. President Trump has been working very hard on this too. And based on the feedback I received from folks like you, I led the effort in the Senate to scrap the burdensome 2015 Waters of the U.S. or WOTUS rule. Yes. It's probably the #1 issue I received feedback on. And while the effort in 2015 was ultimately vetoed by President Obama, the EPA has recently proposed a rewrite of the rule that I think is reasonable and will provide much needed certainty for our stakeholders. I know that your organization found the 2015 rule challenging, and again, I heard many, many comments on that, and I'm hopeful that the new iteration of WOTUS will alleviate the concerns that you had about that difficult rule. Because you are in the best position to determine what's working and what isn't, I think it's not only important to listen to you, but also to empower you. For this reason, I am supportive of policies that delegate as much authority as possible to the state and the local governments. My good friend and colleague, Senator Chuck Grassley, the senior senator from Iowa, often refers to D.C. as an island surrounded by reality. And Congress and federal agencies don't always know what's best for those off the island. And your engagement with us and the valuable input you provide helps bring a much needed dose of reality to this city. To make it easier for our local officials to participate in and influence the policy-making process, I introduced a bill last Congress that would require the headquarters of executive branch agencies to be relocated outside of the Washington, D.C. metro area. States and cities would be able to compete to become their new homes. This would bring good government jobs to new parts of the country, and I think it would also result in a more sensible policy making. And this is something that my Iowa folks and I were just talking about behind stage a little bit ago. We would love the opportunity to compete for some of these headquarters, and it just makes sense. For example, the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture. I don't know of too many farmers and ranchers right here in the D.C. metro area. It would be great for them to move out into those states that they actually represent. I'm sure many of you are wondering how the new dynamic in Congress will affect what happens on the Hill over the next few years. And as all of you know, after 2 years of unified Republican control, we now have a divided Congress. And while I'm sure that you will see a lot in the news, of course, about the dysfunction and infighting in Washington, what I want you to know and what you should know is that bipartisanship is still alive and well in Congress. We will continue to work together. There are still some things that both sides agree are very important. Infrastructure is one of them. In the near future, we'll begin work on the next surface transportation bill, the highway bill, and I'm hopeful that talk of a potential infrastructure package heats right back up again. Republicans and Democrats have some differences on how we pay for infrastructure and what kind of things might actually qualify in that package, but we all agree it is something that needs to be addressed. Another area where both sides came together to accomplish a common goal was the passage of the bipartisan farm bill. These programs, like conservation, something that's important to our folks back home in Iowa, will now have 5 years of stability to look forward to, providing much-needed certainty and allowing industries to focus on other major issues facing our economy, like trade. Last year, the administration successfully renegotiated our free trade agreement with Canada and Mexico. I hope to see Congress swiftly approve this new agreement that will provide certainty to American businesses who export to 2 of our largest trading partners. I also hope that as the process moves forward, the administration can shift its focus to addressing the looming steel and aluminum tariffs with Mexico and Canada and finalizing our negotiations with China. Iowans continue to tell me that they are glad that President Trump is finally standing up to China and holding them accountable for their unfair trade practices. There is no denying that these ongoing trade negotiations have been hard on counties across the country, but they give us an opportunity to create new market access for our farmers and manufacturers. I'm encouraged by the recent reports that negotiators have made substantial progress in our trade talks with China. I hope we seize this opportunity and reach a final agreement soon. Yeah, thank you. We would love to see this done very, very soon. With new and open markets, America's counties, both urban and rural, can thrive. So again, folks, thank you very much for hosting me here this morning. It's great to have the opportunity to be at this event with you. I want to thank you for all that you do and to update you on what's going on in Washington, D.C. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you. I know I'm always amongst friends when I'm with county officials. So God bless you all for the work that you do. And God bless these great United States of America. Thank you all so much. Have a great time. Thank you.